My life in Istanbul. Hello. My name is Sara. And I am 9 years old. I live in the beautiful city of Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul is such an amazing city because it is the only city in the world that sits on two continents, Europe and Asia. Every day feels like an adventure here because there is always something new to discover. I am excited to tell you about my life in this incredible city. My day starts early, just as the sun rises over the Bosphorus. The Bosphorus is a long, narrow strait of water that divides Istanbul between the European and Asian sides. It is a busy waterway with boats, ferries, and even dolphins sometimes. I wake up to the sound of seagulls and the call to prayer from the mosque near our house. Almost everyone here rides a bike. Even the little kids, like my sister Emma, ride in a special seat on their parents' bikes. My school, Decline Wereld, means the little world, and it feels like one. We have students from many different countries. In our school, we learn English, Dutch, math, and science. We also learn about each other's cultures. We have a big world map on the wall of our classroom. We also have something called menemen, a delicious dish made of scrambled eggs, tomatoes, and peppers. It is my favorite. Once breakfast is over, I grab my school bag and head out the door with my mom. We live in a neighborhood filled with narrow streets and colorful buildings on the European side of Istanbul. On our walk to school, we pass by small shops and cafes where people are sipping tea or buying simit, a sesame-covered bread that is very popular here. School is a big part of my life in Istanbul. I attend a large public school with many students and am in the 3rd grade. My favorite subject is history because Istanbul has such a rich and fascinating history. We learn how it was once called Byzantium, Constantinople, and finally, Istanbul. It has been the capital of great empires, and you can still see that in the city ancient walls, palaces, and mosques. In class, we study subjects like Turkish, math, and science. I like science because we get to do fun experiments. Once, we made a volcano using baking soda and vinegar, and it erupted with bubbles. During breaks, my friends and I rush outside to play football. Football, or soccer, as some people call it, is a huge sport here, and almost everyone has a favorite team. My team is Fenerbahçe, and I dream of playing for them one day. Football, or soccer, as some people call it, is a huge sport here, and almost everyone has a favorite team. After school, I sometimes go to the park with my friends. The parks in Istanbul are beautiful, especially in spring when the tulips bloom. I live with my mom, dad, and little brother, Ali, who is 5 years old. My dad works in an office in the city center, while my mom stays home to care for us. Did you know that tulips originally come from Turkey? Every year, Istanbul has a tulip festival, and the city becomes a sea of color with thousands of tulips everywhere. Ali is always full of energy, and even though he can be a bit annoying sometimes, I love playing with him. He follows me everywhere, and we often play with his toy cars or build Lego cities together. On the weekends, my family loves exploring different parts of Istanbul. Sometimes, we take a ferry across the Bosphorus to the Asian side, which feels like going to another world. The ferry rides are one of my favorite things to do because you can see all the famous landmarks from the water, like the Blue Mosque, Hagia Sophia, and Topkapi Palace. Istanbul is a city that never sleeps, and the sounds of laughter, chatting, and the clinking of tea glasses fill the air. Our neighborhood is full of life and excitement. There is always something happening on the streets, whether people selling simit from carts, street musicians playing traditional Turkish songs, or children playing football in the alleyways. We live near a market where my mom buys fresh fruits, vegetables, and fish. I like going to the market with her because it is colorful and lively. The vendors always shout about their goods and sometimes give me a free fruit sample. There is one man who sells the best pomegranates in the city. He always cuts one open for me, and I eat the juicy seeds while we shop. Istanbul is famous for its art and culture. My family often visits museums and galleries, like the Istanbul Modern, where we can see beautiful paintings and sculptures. I love the colors and shapes of modern art, and sometimes, I try to draw my pictures at home. Music is also a big part of life here. We listen to both traditional Turkish music and modern pop songs. My dad sometimes plays old Turkish folk songs on his guitar, and I like to sing along. Street musicians in many parts of the city also play instruments like the saz or darbuka. Their music fills the air and makes the town feel so alive. In the evenings, my family likes to watch Turkish TV shows together. There are many dramas and comedies, but my favorite is a show about a group of kids who solve mysteries. It is always exciting, and what will happen next? I have many friends at school and in my neighborhood. My best friend name is Mehmet, and we have been friends since kindergarten. Mehmet and I do everything together. We play football, ride bikes, and explore new parts of the city. One time, we even found an old abandoned building near the sea. It felt like a secret hideout, and we pretended to be pirates guarding our treasure. I also have friends from other parts of Istanbul who I met through football. We often meet up to practice or play in friendly matches. Friends from different neighborhoods are great because they show me new places I have not seen before. Istanbul is a city rich in culture and traditions. One of the most important holidays we celebrate is Ramadan, when Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. At the end of Ramadan, we celebrate Eid al-Fitr, where we gather with family and friends, give gifts, and eat many delicious sweets. I love this time because everyone is so happy, and the streets are decorated with lights. Another big celebration is Republic Day on October 29th. The city is full of Turkish flags, parades, and fireworks. It is a day to remember when Turkey became a republic, and everyone feels proud to be Turkish. Football is my biggest passion. Every Saturday, I play in a local football league with my friends. We wear our uniforms, and I play as a striker, trying to score goals for my team. It is exciting when I score and my teammates cheer for me. One day, I hope to play for Fenerbahçe, one of the biggest football teams in Istanbul. Besides football, I also enjoy swimming in the summer. My family sometimes goes to the beach near the Sea of Marmara, where there is warm water. We can spend the whole day playing in the sand and swimming. It is the perfect way to cool off during the hot summer months. Istanbul is full of famous landmarks and places to visit. One of the most impressive is the Hagia Sophia, a massive building that was once a church, then a mosque, and now a museum. The inside is grand, with high ceilings, giant domes, and beautiful mosaics. When you visit, you feel like you are stepping back in time. Another famous place is the Topkapi Palace, where the Ottoman sultans used to live. It is filled with beautiful gardens, courtyards, and rooms full of treasures. I like imagining life for a prince or a sultan in the palace. Turkish food is some of the best in the world. My favorite dish is kebab, grilled meat served with rice and vegetables. I also love börek, a pastry filled with cheese or meat. My mom makes it at home, always so crispy and delicious. We also eat a lot of sweets. Turkish delight, or lokum, is one of my favorites. It is a chewy candy with many flavors, like rose, lemon, and pistachio. Whenever we have guests, we offer them tea and Turkish delight. Baklava is another popular dessert made of pastry, nuts, and honey layers. It is so sweet and sticky, yum. Istanbul has 4 seasons, and each one brings different activities. In the spring, the city is full of blooming tulips, and we visit parks like Emirgan Park, which becomes a sea of colorful flowers. Fall is beautiful with its golden leaves, and we often walk by the Bosphorus, watching the boats pass by while the wind blows. We swim or take boat trips on the Bosphorus in summer to cool off. Winter in Istanbul can be cold, and sometimes it even snows. My brother and I rush outside to build snowmen and throw snowballs when it does. One day, while walking with my dad near the Galata Bridge, we saw a fisherman catch a huge fish. It was so big that everyone stopped to watch. The fisherman was kind and let me touch the fish before he put it in his basket. I had never seen a fish that big up close before. It was so exciting. Another surprising moment was visiting the Basilica Cistern, a huge underground water storage system. It felt like a secret underground world with tall columns and fish swimming in the water below. It was cool and a little spooky down there, but I loved exploring it. One of my biggest dreams is to become a professional football player for Fenerbahçe. I practice every day to improve my game, and one day, I hope to play in the biggest stadiums and hear the crowd cheer my name. I also want to travel and see different places, but Istanbul will always be my home. It is a city that feels alive with history, culture, and people from around the world. Living in Istanbul is like being part of a story that stretches back thousands of years. Every street, building, and landmark has a story, and I feel lucky to be a part of it. My life here is full of adventure, learning, and love, and I hope you can one day visit and experience the magic of Istanbul for yourself.